The automotive industry has warned Donald Trump he's risking thousands and thousands of layoffs, plus bankruptcies in America if he doesn't stop the tariffs. They're going to cause incredible pain and hardship. Car prices will skyrocket. And, well, I mean, over half a dozen automotive industry lobbying groups have sent a joint letter to President Trump, which apparently he threw in the bin. No, I'm joking. I don't know if he threw it in the bin. I can just imagine him doing it. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. Companies are saying that bankruptcy will come to many of them if this isn't changed. And I mean, it's possible. It's possible. On what Donald Trump called Liberation Day, he unveiled a pretty wild 25% tariff on any car or part that goes into a car that isn't made in America, regardless of its origin. I mean, it includes everyone: Canada, Mexico, anyone that's not, anything's not made in America. This announcement sent major shockwaves through the automotive industry, prompting a united front of lobbying groups to issue a pretty dire warning in a letter addressed to the US administration. Now, I do think the administration has to consider this because it could cause some issues that I think they haven't foreseen. They argue that these tariffs put thousands of jobs and companies at serious risk, with the potential for pandemic era impact still very possible, according to these groups. The letter was signed by a wide range of major industry organizations that represent nearly every automaker in the country except Tesla, including General Motors, Toyota, Volkswagen, Hyundai, and others. Now, Toyota is probably going to be the company most hard hit because Toyota actually sold 1 million cars in America last year that weren't made in America. 1 million, more than anyone else. So they're obviously pretty angry about this. Tariffs on auto parts will scramble the global automotive supply chain and set off a domino effect that will lead to higher auto prices for consumers, lower sales at dealerships, and will make servicing and repairing vehicles both more expensive and less predictable, said the letter. Most auto suppliers are not capitalized for an abrupt tariff-induced disruption. I think that's probably a good point. They're not. Many are already in distress and will face production stoppages, layoffs, and bankruptcy, the letter, first reported by the Detroit Free Press, said. It only takes the failure of one supplier to lead to a shutdown of an automaker's production line. When this happens, as it did during the pandemic, all suppliers are impacted and workers will lose their jobs. Really interesting hearing this from them. I think they've got a really good point. Consider this, though. I've reported on 7 different bankruptcies in Germany in the automotive industry supply chain over the past 12 months. How are they dealing with this stuff? It must be a massive challenge for them. The coalition includes the National Automotive Dealers Association, the Alliance for Automotive Innovation, the Motor and Equipment Manufacturers Association, and more. Together, they represent every major automaker in the United States, aside from Tesla, auto suppliers, and foreign automakers that have US-based operations. Coming together like this is really unusual, said Carla Balo, CEO of Ecos Consulting LLC and former president of the Center for Automotive Research. Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen this kind of, all these companies come together like this, I don't think, ever. Normally, everyone sends out a separate note, separate email, message, whatever it is, to the president. In this case, the impact is just so profound for all of those industries, from the aftermarket all the way down to the OEs. There's more power as a unit than doing it separately. There's strength in numbers, she said to the Detroit News. So where's this letter gone? Is it going to have any impact? Well, the letter went to Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, and US Trade Representative Jamison Greer. It's unclear if Trump will actually respond, or if he cares, or if he already knew this stuff anyway. I've got no idea. He did say, though, last week that he was looking at something to help some of the car companies, and he's talking to China about potentially getting rid of these tariffs. Maybe. They're switching to parts that were made in Canada, Mexico, and other places, and they need a little bit of time because they're going to make them here, he said. So it sounds like Trump is saying, well, these companies will just start making all these parts in America. But it's going to take a little while, right? It takes a while to set up all these production lines, to train people, to get the right staff, to get all the stuff set up. And I think if Trump doesn't yield to this pressure, the result could be very, very interesting, to say the least. I mean, it's going to be certainly newsworthy anyway. Some automakers have halted imports to the United States, Others have openly said that they'll hold off on price increases for only a short time. They'll be forced to raise prices in the long run. Volvo has laid off hundreds of workers with the tariffs in view. Lots of people have been laid off in Canada as well. Prices of cars are increasing. It's interesting strategy from Trump here. Guys, I mean, clearly you can see the downsides. There's upsides, there's downsides. It's I think at this point in time, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a major issue, a major challenge for the automotive industry in the United States to deal with. How do you guys feel about this? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, and I'll see you again on the next video. Bye-bye. Analysts believe there's two very good reasons for why the electric car market is about to be smashed in the United States. Prices will go up on average $12,000. Sales will crater. And this is not good news if it is actually true. If I'm totally honest, I didn't really think Donald Trump would go ahead and do this. I thought it was more of a bargaining chip, something to negotiate with, but it looks like he has. The 25% tariff on Mexican and Canadian-made cars is in place. It's now happening. It's now very real. It's going to have some pretty severe ramifications, though, on the sale prices of cars inside the United States. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. If you're not already, make sure you become a YouTube member. I'll put a link to their member page in the description below. Canada and China have reacted to this. By the way, this is not just Mexico and Canada that tariffs apply to. It's also China. And countries are reacting. Now, imports from Canada and Mexico will be subject to duties of 25%. Goods and services from China will be subject to an additional 10%, in addition to an existing tariff of 10%. So basically that means everything now you guys buy from China will have a 20% tariff. Everything in Canada and Mexico, 25%. Canada and China have announced retaliatory tariffs. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau immediately announced retaliatory tariffs of 25% on imports from the United States. Canada will not leave this unjustified action unanswered, said Trudeau. Now, obviously, Justin Trudeau likes to present everything as some sort of emotional thing. And, you know, he speaks in very emotional terms. So I kind of don't think that he's, to be honest, any better of a leader than Donald Trump is. China has immediately imposed tariffs on US goods, including chicken, wheat, corn, and cotton. Beijing also published a list of companies that may face a business ban in China. Hard cuts for the auto industry are probably coming as well. This marks the beginning of a trade war with incalculable consequences for the global economy and potentially severe cuts for the automotive industry. Stock prices collapsed after Trump's announcement, but I want to interject here, guys, with some information that I think we're kind of missing.